First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office showcased the result of a heroin bust today. And that's our top story. A drug bust in Ocala this week broke a record for the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Good evening. It's February 12th. I'm Maria Ettinger.
And I'm Connor Ingalls. Thanks for joining us. Deputies say they found the largest amount of heroin ever collected in one of their cases. WUFT's Joey Schatt joins us live from the newsroom with the details. Joey, how did this bust happen?
The evidence was uncovered with the help of 3 investigative teams and 1 furry friend. The suspect in this case was pulled over for a window tint violation, but deputies say their canine Asia detected the bigger problem. Marion County Sheriff's deputies have been watching the convicted felon Felipe Rodriguez for some time now on suspicion of dealing drugs. They say they finally got a break, and it was a big one. They were following him and saw the opportunity to pull him over when he had a window tint violation.
I have mixed emotions about it, but I probably lean towards using the tinted window to pull someone over in a situation where there are a lot of drug problems in a particular area.
When Canine Asia indicated narcotics were present, deputies searched the car. They say they found marijuana, 3 firearms, paraphernalia, and 1.5 pounds of heroin hiding in places like the car's middle console and the car's cassette player. Both Felipe and his wife Stephanie Rodriguez were arrested on felony charges. Heroin is typically sold as 1 gram, and the amount they collected was a total of 630 grams, worth more than $100,000.
We know that heroin is on a trend, probably throughout the state of Florida, and primarily because of the fact that the measures taken by Attorney General Pam Bondi over the last several years on the pill mills. So we have seen a definite increase in heroin.
With access to pills being restricted, dealers have turned to the drug as a cheaper substitute. MCSO obtained a search warrant for the Rodriguez's utility trailer, where they say they found more than $20,000 in currency, along with a TV for surveillance and 3 more guns. The sheriff's office is in the process of seizing the vehicle that the couple was pulled over in. Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez are both currently in jail being held under large bonds. Florida deaths from heroin have spiked sharply in recent years. Yearly deaths had fallen below 50 in 2010 before climbing again. In 2014, the most recent year with data available, heroin deaths reached 447, more than double the year before. Reporting from the newsroom, Joey Schatt, WUFT News.
Thank you, Joey. Alachua County now has a confirmed Zika case, and the statewide total has reached 20. The cases are scattered across 8 counties, all covered under the state Surgeon General's declaration of a public health emergency. That lets the state scramble resources, and there's now a hotline to answer questions. Zika infections are of special concern for pregnant women because of links to a devastating birth defect. All of the Florida cases involve international travelers, and luckily none involve pregnant women. The number for the hotline is 855-622-6735.
The search for Hannah Brim was suspended today. Brim has been missing since January 19th, and investigators say they believe she may be dead. Yesterday, more than 150 officers from several departments searched for her body in a large wooded area near Orange Heights. Monday morning, ASO will be briefing the team on any new leads in the investigation. Based on the evidence at that point, search efforts could continue Tuesday. And now, even though I knew today was going to be warm, I was still surprised when we broke the 70s this afternoon.
See, I was ready. I'd actually be outside right now if I wasn't trapped inside this TV box. UF forecaster Amanda Hawley joins us now from the Weather Center, and she tells us not to get used to the warmer temperatures. Amanda.
Yeah, hopefully the rest of North Florida got to enjoy today and be outside because it was certainly nice out there. Temperature reached 73 degrees here on the University of Florida campus. We saw some nice cumulus clouds out there, a nice mix of some sun and clouds. It was just a really nice day. Breezy, but it was a nice warm breeze, so nothing cold to talk about except starting tomorrow. We've got a dry front moving in tonight. It's going to shift our winds out of the north more towards daybreak, and it's going to bring us some more cold weather for us here in North Florida. Here's your hour by hour tonight. Skies will be clear, but notice at the very end of that hour by hour, the winds start to shift out of the northwest, and by daybreak, they will be shifting out of the north. Your morning temperatures don't look that bad. They're actually pretty mild, 48 in Gainesville and 49 in Ocala, but cooler temperatures and below average temperatures will return for Saturday afternoon. So coming up, I'll tell you just how cold those temperatures will get. Back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. The group Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been working in the state capitol this week. They hope to tighten DUI laws with greater use of ignition interlocks on the cars of people who get convicted. WUFT's Stephanie Byrne explains how the systems operate.
In Florida, DUI offenders are required to have an interlock ignition system in their cars if their blood alcohol concentration was 0.15 or higher. Members of MAD are lobbying for interlocks to come into play at 0.08 to match the legal limit.
And it should be noted that since that time, interlocks have stopped nearly 50,000 attempts to drive drunk.
Ocala Car Audio is one of the shops that installs interlock systems, which include a control pad, breathalyzer, and camera. This is an example of an ignition interlock. Once someone gets into their car, they have to blow into the device in order for the car to start, like this.
And you were focused on the tone?
And I pass. The system will shut off the starter if it detects alcohol, and once the car is running, will prompt the driver to blow again periodically. The camera inside also snaps a picture to ensure the convicted driver does not have someone else blow into the breathalyzer. Parrish Tanner is the owner of the shop and has also seen why there is a need for these devices.
My parents bought their first bar when I was about 10 years old. So I grew up around them. I saw a lot of people get hurt. I saw a lot of people be responsible. So drinking's not an issue, but people that don't know how to control it is.
Interlocks add a measure of control, and supporters say it all comes down to saving lives.
It just feels good. It's nice to make a difference.
Stephanie Byrne, WUFT News.
Good to know Stephanie can pass a DUI test in the middle of reporting. The two bills have each passed through one committee apiece, but the legislation is still in the early phases of heading to the governor's desk.
And Gainesville partygoers, your ship has come in.
That's right, or at least your petty bus. WUFT's Catherine Bonte joins us live from the newsroom to explain what that means.
Two new companies in town are trying to add some pedal power to the downtown scene. For $25, you can experience downtown in a whole new way. On your next night in downtown Gainesville, you might notice something different. 16 people on a bike, different. Florida Fun Bikes hosted its first ride last night. Derek Robinson and Amber Shelton have been working on this since riding one on a vacation in Las Vegas last year.
Yeah, so we bought the bike. Yeah, we have the bike and it's here. And then we go to the city and they're like, yeah, you got to get an ordinance pass.
The city has approved the Petty Bus to operate on a downtown course around bars and tourist spots, but has yet to agree to beer sales on board. Similar to cities like in Cincinnati, Key West, and Savannah, Georgia, owners of Gainesville's Florida Fun Bikes are hoping they can change one thing: being able to drink while pedaling.
We're going to go back and try to petition the commission around mid-March. We want to be up and running for a month to show them that we're good citizens, we're awesome, and then we'll go back and petition.
For now, riders can enjoy a sort of biking pub crawl, but depending on the group, the tour stops could be geared toward food or a tour of downtown. No one knows if it will catch on, but there's also a competing service, the Spins, setting up shop in town. Last night was just a small sample of the Fun Bike's 2-hour tour. For most who hopped on board, a little test ride was all they needed to be sold on the concept.
We don't spend a lot of time downtown, but we'll be back because it is a fun thing to do.
Catherine Bonte, WUFT News.
Some businesses will offer deals to riders. Current stops on the tour include downtown favorites like Tall Paul's, Whiskey House, and the Hippodrome. Reporting live from the newsroom, Catherine Bonte, WUFT News.
That looks like a blast. Thank you, Catherine. Well, the presidential preference primary, a lot of P's, I know. The election for that is coming up soon.
That's right. March 15th will be the day for voters to cast their ballots for Republican and Democrat nominees for president. Ashlyn Reese joins us now in the studio. Ashlyn, some voters might be surprised to find out they won't be able to vote in the primary.
That's right, Connor. Those that are registered as independents or with minor parties need to change their affiliation very soon, or they won't be able to take part in the primaries. The deadline to change your party affiliation in order to vote in the presidential preference primary is Tuesday, February 16th. That same deadline holds for anyone who is not registered voter in Florida and wants to become one in order to vote on March 15th. Melissa Salazar has been registered as an independent since she's been able to vote.
I would just like to change my party affiliation.
But today, she decided to change her party affiliation so that she can take part in the Florida primary elections.
I'm just here because I do believe that every vote counts, at least collectively anyway, when people think that way. So it's just something that's really important to me.
According to the Supervisor of Elections office, Salazar is one of more than 200 walk-ins who have changed their party affiliation for this election in order to be able to vote in the primary. Officials have seen a change in who is voting.
We're seeing a little bit more interest from our younger voters. So we'll be watching to see if we're going to see an increase in the interest and participation for this presidential preference primary.
Those who want to change their party can go to the Supervisor of Elections office or just go online. Alachua County voters can go online to votealachua.com, fill out the form, print it out, and then take it to any Alachua County Public Library, the DMV, or the Supervisor of Elections office. Alachua County libraries will be closed Monday, but will be accepting registration forms on Tuesday. Although Salazar says she prefers that Florida were an open state, she says this is an important race to have a voice in.
I feel like this race for the presidency is unlike any other. It's very untraditional. No matter which way it goes, we're going to have someone representing us that's probably not our traditional president.
If you're sending your registration through the mail, it can arrive after the February 16th due date and be accepted as long as it's postmarked by the 16th.
Thanks, Ashlyn. Now we bring you the last of our candidate profiles for the week, this time featuring Jim Connish. Connish is running for the District 4 seat and spoke to us about development, GRU rates, and taxes. Other than Butler Plaza, the Standard, and the Downtown Hotel, what other projects do you have in mind to improve the local economy of Gainesville?
The role of city government is to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place for the development we approve, not to subsidize development, which overwhelms our infrastructure and which destroys the neighborhoods nearby, because a 10-story building will have impacts quite a distance away.
What are you going to do to help reduce these highest in the state electric rates for customers of Gainesville Regional Utilities?
So my plan is this: get the stormwater off the bill, put it on the tax bill. Get the garbage off the bill, put it on the tax bill, as is done in the county. And do a forensic audit, find out why we did this terrible biomass contract, void the contract, put them out of business.
What is your plan to cut taxes in the city of Gainesville?
When the University of Florida, like say at the Union, rents to private for-profit companies like copy centers, restaurants, they're supposed to pay utility tax on that electricity, but the city of Gainesville doesn't audit the University of Florida. But we need to send the auditor in there and make sure that the taxes they owe actually are being paid.
WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, if you have a Valentine this year, we'll help you think up a special surprise for your boo.
Plus, 45 University of Florida students are getting an opportunity to showcase their work. Those stories and more coming up after the break.
And today we saw some very nice weather out there with highs in the low 70s. And it was a few clouds out there, but lots of sunshine. Coming up, I'll tell you just how much colder it's going to get for the weekend.